Hi, my name is Harrison Chang. I am the founder and director of the Tri-City Band Corps. I started this organization back in 2004, so this is our 20th anniversary this year. This program today was our elementary band. We call it our Hastati Regiment. We started this back in 2019, just before the pandemic started. We were looking for ways to help improve music education in the community. I started teaching after-school music classes when I was in high school myself, and I saw from the time that I graduated high school to that point, we had lost over 50% of music classes across the school district. And so we really want to do something about it, help support the middle schools and high schools. We were seeing declining enrollment across the school districts, across music programs in general. So we created this new program that was really meant to fill in those gaps. We met on the weekends, so it was a little bit more convenient for family schedules. And what we were able to do was bring in high school students so that they could volunteer, teach the younger generation, and really pass on that knowledge. It creates volunteer opportunities for the high school students, and at the same time, it's going to help elevate the level of the music programs. So we've been really pleasantly surprised to see that today over 75% of the section leaders in a lot of our high school programs are all alumni from our program. So we're at the point where all of those students who used to be our starting beginning band class are now the instructors and TAs, and even our program manager, she started in our program as an elementary student back in the day. So when we started Tri-City Band Corps, we started originally as a high school program. That was what eventually became called our Royal Regiment, because we wear the royal blue color, and also to signify that this is one of our more elite ensembles that are performing. So their claim to fame is we've actually gone head-to-head against DCI world-class groups like the Mandarins and actually beat them in judge competition. So we're the only high school program to beat this mostly college-age program group, and they practice 40 hours a week or more. They're paying $1,000 for top-level instructors, and these are students who just meet together and practice and lead themselves without full-time instructors, and they're able to do that, which is really amazing. From there, we've always been looking at how do we expand our existing offerings, and mostly what we want to do is fill in the gaps where there are gaps in the community program. So that's when we started our middle school marching band. We have a lot of great middle school concert band programs in our area, but none of them do marching. And so this was a new way to start getting students excited about marching, getting ready for high school marching band, and it was providing again something that they didn't have otherwise. And then we started at the elementary level, expanding downwards in that direction. We also expand in other areas such as Winter Guard, Winter Percussion programs, where we're offering a different set of experiences. Again, offered at the high schools typically, but not seen at the middle school level. And even then, not every high school has it. So this is our chance to kind of come back in and provide that option for people who go to a school and they just happen to not have a program at their school. They have a chance to go through our program. Beyond that, we also do our international program, where we actually have gone to perform in London and Italy in the New Year's Day Parade in Rome. And we recently got back from the London Parade back in 2024 New Year's, which was really cool. That was the second time out there as a group. And we had students from, I think, 6 different high schools participating. It was amazing. It's mostly because the first time we performed on stage together was the first time that we actually all rehearsed together too, since everyone's practicing on their own and we're kind of bringing it together. And so it's really cool how they're able to do that on their own.
Hi, I'm Peachjar Patel, and in TBC, I'm the Executive Director of Elementary School Band Programs. So all the bands that you saw today, I have to manage all of them, all the behind the scenes work of paperwork, responding to emails, just making sure all the kids have instruments assigned to them, but also all the in-person work. So going to rehearsals and making sure that all the kids are coming, making sure they have their stands, instruments, making sure they're learning, all of that kind of stuff. TBC for me, I've been doing it since we started, so 2019. Obviously, what got me into it was my parents. I had no idea that it existed. They told me one day, let's go to lesson, so let's see how it is. I was doing elementary school band at that time, so in my school, but the programs, like Harrison mentioned before, they were they were dying out. Funding was getting decreased, so I wouldn't have a program next year, which is why my parents enrolled me in TBC to help keep my music education going. So I started TBC, I think it was the summer after 4th grade, and we started in a church. It's down on Fremont. It was pretty small, and then now I am the director of the band that I was once in. I've always been really big on just interacting with students. They're the next generation, they're the future. You want to make sure they have the best experiences possible that maybe you didn't get to have. I want to make sure that I'm always supporting them in ways that they like it. I always try to form personal relationships with them. One thing I'm really proud about is I know almost everyone by name, which is pretty hard to do in a 300-person group, but I try to make sure I always address them by name. It just shows that personal kind of connection, shows that even though I'm your director, I'm still here for you. And it was just kind of that. When I was in TBC, there was always people up there looking out for me, and I wanted to do that for someone else. My service in Tri-City Band, I think, has shaped me both emotionally and just like on a work kind of basis. So from the leadership perspective, I've learned how to manage a team. Obviously, like 120 high schoolers is not an easy feat. Like making sure you're always communicating them, making sure that they're always doing what you want on time. It's just, you learn a lot of communication, you learn a lot of like dedication. You also learn just like how to make sure you manage a group well and communicate within a team well. From the emotional perspective, I guess just, it gave me a lot of friends. Like I love the people that I work with. I love like the children that I work with. And it's just like generally makes me so happy seeing the children progress, like them just talking to me, saying hi. Like I saw a few kids at like an engineering fair a few weeks ago, and they were like they said hi like so enthusiastically, and it just made me like we're so happy, like, you know. It's like that bond, that like connection that's formed just makes me extremely, like, it's rewarding. I remember just always like idolizing high schoolers. Like all the high schoolers in my life, I just remember looking up to them, and it's like, oh, like they're so cool, like wow, they do this, they do that. And I want to be that person for someone else, just especially towards the little kids. Like I want to be someone that they can like talk to, someone they can come to for help. Like don't be afraid to like, you know, ask me about a finger, like I'll help you no matter what. And especially that like emotional aspect, being there for the kids is just like really, really important. For everyone. There's a very followable chain of command. Like there's always some people that you need to direct, there's always someone that you can look up to for help, advice, just anything about like assignments, all of that. So I feel like it definitely works functional wise. Like you always have assignments to do, and I feel like the best part of TBC is that we have everything planned out. Like everything from like 2004 since we started, we have reports about all of it, we have stuff that we can look back and learn from. We have just all of that ready at our disposal, so when someone takes a new job, they have so many like resources for them already that they can like effectively take their job and like communicate. I think the two main things I've learned is one, communication, and two, looking ahead. Looking ahead is the biggest thing. Like Harrison says it over and over again. Like this rental facility needs to be booked a year in advance. Like I'm already looking to book the next one for next year. Like that's just such a big part, being able to look ahead, assign work early in advance, make sure all your team knows what they're doing. Like it's almost like dispersing work is like an important part of your job, just making sure that you're not doing it all yourself, but you're giving it out to people and you're following up with them about it. And then communication kind of goes hand in hand with that, making sure everyone knows exactly what they have to do. But I think communication with parents and students is even more than that I've learned. Like parents often, like I have to remember that parents aren't the ones running the program. They have no idea what's going on the inside. You have to make it very clear in the emails. Students even more clear. Like students, you have to get through their little brain of theirs. You have to make sure that like they know what they're doing. So all of that is very important, and I've learned that a lot. I feel like it's mostly just the connection I've made with students. Like there's this one girl, like she'll always say hi to me no matter what, like no matter where we are. Whenever I come in, even if I'm like unloading a bass drum or just doing something else, she'll always say hi to me. She'll always just talk to me, and that's like, you know, it's like I've only been here for a year. I've made such an impact in your life, like that you're like talking to me. Like that's really like nice to hear. And then also just families in general. Like there's this one specific family that I'm always talking to. Like they're always talking about like their programs and stuff, and they got me like a Christmas gift. Like it's like a small thing, but just getting me like, you know, a gift that just like shows that I actually, like, you went out of your way to like think about that and give it to me was like very like rewarding. I want to study neuroscience on the pre-med path. Yeah, so I feel like just pre-med in general, or just like, you know, wanting to be a doctor is a pretty tall task. Like it's like requires like what, like 8, 9, 10 years of schooling. Like it's a very you have a lot of responsibility if you're a doctor. And I think the same goes here in a way. Like you're responsible for all these 300 children, you're responsible for everything that goes on. Like it's a very like public nonprofit. And just knowing that like responsibility, learning, especially accountability, learning those things now will help me like better prepare for like a career as a neuroscientist. The challenge is probably just the learning curve. The learning curve of us like realizing that you have such a big responsibility on your shoulders. Like this isn't something that's just you're doing for like homework or a school project. Your teacher will be there to like, oh, correct you, and then like you'll just get like a bad grade and move on. Like this is having like real effects out into the public. Like one mistake, like say like you say something wrong thing, like it's having effects like outwardly, like on the parents, teachers, students, all of that. So just learning accountability and realizing that like everything you do has like consequences for it, and just like overcoming that and making sure you're always being prepared. I would say for students especially that it's a great experience. Like coming to this class every day, it just gives you something to do first of all, but second, it gives you like friends that are just being made. Like I have so many kids, like probably like it annoys me sometimes, but they make so many friends just in their section. Like they're always talking, even though they don't know each other before that. Like they're becoming friends. They're making like, they go on parades together. Like they go to concerts, performances. Like they just form new bonds that wouldn't have been possible without music. And so the parents and guardians, like let your children have that experience. Like it's just a good experience for them to have, learning an instrument, but also being in a group like that. It's just really beneficial for them. Being a fourth grader coming into this program and now leading the program, I think it's like, It's very like rewarding for me, and it's just like something I definitely recommend to everyone else who like is thinking about doing music as like a parent or even like a student leader wanting to come into the program.
We also offer a special needs program for students who are autistic or on the spectrum, and that's a specialized program that's going to help. They have different teaching methods and instructions that will be a little bit better for students on the spectrum and are able to continue to participate, enjoy music as well. We've also offered our bagpipe program that you've seen today. We've also have our programs located in our Pleasanton location right now. So we're kind of branching out geographically. We're branching out both upwards towards our college age and to our younger programs. So we're kind of just looking at always like, where can we fill in more gaps? Where is there something missing? One of the really cool things of what we do is our high school program is really focused on leadership. So unlike most of the other music programs, like my day job, I'm a college counselor. I'm not a band director. I don't have a degree in music, right? But what I really look for is how do I make this experience as great for the students as possible? How to make this as beneficial? I know when I went through my school music program, I know my director was really sad when I said I wasn't going to be a music teacher in the future, right? But I think the reality for most of our students is like that's not a career goal of theirs, and it's fine, right? But we want to make sure that music can still be applicable regardless of what they want to do in the future. And there's a lot of great things that will come from music education, from increased test scores all the way through teamwork skills and collaboration, communication, things like that. So we want to make sure that students are still being involved. And what we do is we run our high school leadership program essentially. So TBC as a nonprofit is completely led and run by current high school students. So our current CEO, we have two of them, Fiona Ma and Patricia Wu. They're both seniors this year. They'll be graduating. One of them's off to West Point. The other one's gonna be off to Carnegie Mellon. So really exciting for both of them. I think in the last 20 years, we've had as many as 80% of our students, our CEOs were admitted to UC Berkeley or gone to other Ivy League schools because of the experience that they're able to get through here. So in total, Tri-City Band Corps has over 1,000 students from about 125 different schools. We have about 120 active officers at any given time. And we kind of treat this like a job for them. This is like their first experience. They have to go through, submit a resume, go through an interview, we do performance reviews, and they really start to learn what it is to be like to communicate professionally, learn how to write professional emails, communicate with parents, and also being responsible for over $500,000 worth of assets, instruments, uniforms, all these things that they need to be in charge of. Our fundraising program typically brings in anywhere from about $300,000 to $500,000 a year, which is for a student organization incredibly impressive. Looks great on their college apps. And so we have essentially a structured program where we have several major departments so students can find things that they're interested in participating in. And we also have an executive leadership team that is selected from the entry-level jobs, and you kind of work your way to the top. But there's always opportunities because you always have a class that's graduating out, new students are coming in, and so you don't have to, it's not the same as a regular job sometimes where the CEO is just going to stay there, you're never going to get the job. Like here, every year it's passed on to another student. There's always someone else that has that chance afterwards.
My name is Lucian and I play the clarinet and bagpipes. I started TBC because I wanted to play bagpipes, and then my second choice of instrument was clarinet. On my first day I was excited to get to learn new instruments. I have grown because I have a bigger understanding of the band musical concepts instead of just piano and other classical instruments. I learned that most of the time it's not about how only you sound, but about how the entire group sounds. If you mess up but everyone keeps going on and they play it perfectly, then that gives you enough cover to catch back up and play it back again. At TBC I accomplished a few achievements. Some of them are that I managed to get some awards. The awards were about attendance and about how much I've learned during the year. I like TBC because it gives me a place where I can learn an instrument before middle school. Performing on stage is both exciting and scary sometimes. At TBC, during the beginning of the year, sometimes I had trouble making sounds out of the clarinet, but then I managed to overcome that afterwards. Music is helping me because I can have a wider understanding about sounds. When I become older, I want to become a musician. My favorite part about TBC is how I can see how other people do and not just myself.
I'm Fiona. I'm the outgoing CEO of Tri-City Bands.
I'm Leela. I'm the incoming CEO of Tri-City Band.
Tri-City Band Corps is a student-led nonprofit organization. This, to me, is a lot more than just a band, just an organization. It's my family. I started off as Chief Music Director. That's one of the department head positions. And then I was there for a few weeks before I got promoted to Chief of Staff. I was Chief of Staff for 2 years, and then now I'm CEO. As a CEO, I would say the biggest responsibility is looking ahead. I'm not thinking in the now. I'm thinking 6 to 8 months ahead because everyone else is working on now. I need to know what's coming up next because planning starts a lot earlier than when the event actually happens. I would say the biggest thing is realizing that I'm not the center around my world. Everything that I do affects a lot bigger of a group of people than just me. So I really need to think about that. As a kid, I feel like most people would put themselves at the center of their universe, very egocentric thinking. Being in Tri-City Bancorp and being Chief of Staff especially made me realize that me changing my plans or me messing up on something is going to affect a lot bigger of an audience than just myself or just my close friends.
I manage kind of like the main programs, so our Hastati and Cadet program, and as well as some of our winter programs. It's a lot of organizing people what to do and making sure their tasks are done, and just organizing in general. Starting off, I was a very, very shy person. I wouldn't talk to people. I wouldn't take the lead on anything. And having a leadership position in Tri-City Band, it's a lot of change. I'm a much more public person now. I'm able to lead people, talk to people very easily, and I also like things like just writing emails. I didn't know how to write a proper email, and things like that I really got better at, know the format, and it's gotten a lot better.
I would say very similar for me. I was also a little bit shy coming to TBC, but being in TBC has given me the chance to not just work together with peers, but also those a lot older, a lot younger than me, adults, government officials, third-party organizations that also sponsor us or work together with us, and that's helped me really again, not be so egocentric when I think about things because there's a lot more people in my life now, and also build a lot of connections with people from all kinds of different backgrounds. And when I stepped into TBC, I had very short amount of time to really get to know the organization before I was in an executive position. And as a sophomore in high school, that was a lot to take on. And I would say the biggest challenge was being a leader. Being a leader, not only are you thinking about what other people are thinking now, but also where to draw that line between friendship and leadership. Right, you have your friends, and you have people older and younger than you. You need to think about how you can communicate with them. Everyone has their own goals and what they want out of TBC, but how do we work together so that we have one common goal, and how do we improve TBC as a whole through that common path that we're trying to take?
For me, the challenges, again, it's a very similar situation with, like I said, I was a shy person. It was hard to know when to say what, right? It was, if I didn't know something, who to ask, what to do, where to go for the answer, and also just, like she said, being able to know where to draw the line of friendship versus if I'm leading someone, if I'm the organizer of the group, I have to tell them to do their job.
Something that I'm really proud of is, one, building this huge group of friends. I know people that are, going to all kinds of different colleges, majoring different things, and that's going to be very important later in life to know these people. And I'm glad that TBC has given me the opportunity to build a really close relationship with them, because networking is going to be one of the most important things in life.
It's leadership for me because I didn't know how to lead people, and now I can take a group of people and know what to do with them exactly, where to place them, what's good for that person as a job, and being able to speak up if anything happens.
I feel like the biggest reason that I'm here with TBC is because of the people. Again, before people might say oh, I want to join an organization, I want to do leadership for college apps, for personal gains or whatever. But I would say that I want to hang around. I'll probably come back later after I graduate high school as well, just because the people here, they make it all really worth it.
I've personally made some really good, emotionally close friends of mine from this organization. I think it's a really good way to connect with people. I have a lot of extended friends from this too, friends of friends. And also just for students, it's so much easier to go in and bond over something that you both mutually like already. It's already a starting point to a friendship and more.
I would imagine seeing a closer bond between officers. I know right now we have, next year actually, we're gonna have 3 branches of TBC in 3 different locations. And it's kind of, even this year we started like a new San Jose branch. Starting those new branches and kind of divides people up a little bit. So, I'm in charge of South Bay or San Jose, and I went to one of their meetings and I just realized I don't know a lot of the people from East Bay. So I'm hoping to see that like the 3 branches do get to work together a little bit, maybe some bonding sessions together. Because of how big the organization is, I do think that will be a challenge just because there's so many people. But I hope that we will take some measures to get people to know each other, because there's some really good people, really great people in TBC.
So I see a lot of many different programs, even just like out of band, like there could be choir, there could be like orchestra. There's a lot of musically and included organizations, programs, but it's a lot more expanded. And like she said, I would actually like to expand on that. With the 3 different sites, I think there'll be more as well. There's a lot of outreach that could go out, but having a meeting together with each other, just one of the many that we have, is actually one of the steps we are taking. And I think it'll be a good part in bonding. Just today I found out that I didn't know one of the people from South Bay. So just like that, I would like to bring it closer.
The way we get the word out about the programs typically through Peachjar. That's probably the entry level, especially at the elementary school level where people have not heard of band before. That's really the starting point, right? This is to get typically sent to middle schools and elementary schools, just trying to say this is what band is, this is why it's beneficial for you, this is how you can participate. Our program is free for students. We also provide instruments for low-income families so that everyone has a chance to participate still. But I would say like probably, at least for our elementary music programs, 70% probably come through Peachjar. When we started, we were about 20 kids, and it was a very small program for the first 5-6 years, I think, that we ran it. And at one point, we got the just economies of scale. We got to the point where we brought in a couple friends, they brought in a couple friends, and then we're able to kind of grow and expand. I think what I was really proud of was during the pandemic, probably, where all of the other music programs shut down. Music at that time, very high-risk activity, aerosol sprays into the, and people were pulling out of music programs across the board. The school music programs completely shut down, all of them, and they have not returned since. And so that was the point where, at that point, our elementary band was about 60 kids. That first year in the pandemic, we jumped to 300. The next year, we jumped up to 500, and it's just been kind of climbing since then, right? It's because our student leaders, and I think that's really who I want to credit. Most of them they're actually graduating this year from college. It was Chloe and Angeline. There's also Annie, and the 3 of them, they were running our online programs. We actually had over 250 high school volunteers teaching one-on-one private lessons on Zoom with students. They did, I think, 25,000 hours of volunteer work in that 1 year when we were on the pandemic. And it's like, from that experience, we've been able to kind of continue to grow and build. We've since transitioned back in person. Music's a lot easier when you can hear the other people and play together. Zoom's just a little challenging for that sometimes, but listening to this group today, them having gone to competitions now, so they've recently, about last month, they went to an NCBA judge competition, and they actually beat some of the middle schoolers, our 5th graders, right? I see these kids once a week for 2 hours. Those middle school kids, teacher every day, 5 days a week, full-time credentialed music teacher, and we're still able to perform that well, and I think that's really impressive. And again, it's all student TAs driving a lot of that experience for them, and it's just great seeing them go from student to instructor for us, and just completing that circle.
I first heard it from one of my friends. He's part of it. He did this program starting from elementary school, where he actually played clarinet for it, right? And then I was told about it my freshman year, and he told me that I could actually go to Tri-City Band Corps, and rather than just be a member, I could actually be an officer and help set up the logistics for running all the events. And I thought that was really cool, so I actually went into the finance department. I'm head of events, so I deal with all the stuff about managing the finances, managing the events, fundraisers, things like that. My role in teaching, I feel I both guide my students as a mentor, because I also play the instrument. I'm still learning the instrument. I also feel a support mechanism as well for the students. I try to get to know them more on a personal level, rather than just as that one annoying kid who plays clarinet or whatever, right? I try to get to know know them on a more personal level. And I feel like my role as a mentor and a teacher at the same time to help guide these students towards like mastering the instrument or getting better at the instrument is like really valuable towards them developing as musicians as well. When you're in like a high position where you're like managing like big events or you like might spend like hundreds, if not thousands of dollars to participate, like it's sort of scary, but I feel like it's also like really rewarding. It's really satisfying when things go smoothly. It also sucks when things don't, but usually we'll find a way to get through it. I think overall TBC has helped me grow like more like as a person rather than musically, because it's taught me responsibility, how to manage other people who work below me, how to work with like colleagues or like people who share similar positions with me, and how to communicate with them to get things done. I'm really proud of the annual fundraisers we do. Like we have this thing called like Fall Feed where we sell pasta. I'm really proud of that because I think like this year's Fall Feed was like really exemplary of like my skills in order to actually help manage a team to get that stuff done, especially because someone like dropped the ball on us, like my head dropped the ball on us right before we started, and we still like pulled together, managed to run the event. We made a few $1,000s off of it selling pasta and stuff, and like I think that's really cool because it shows that like even if like some things don't necessarily go right in the beginning, like we're able to pull together, work as a team to help achieve something great. Something that stands out, I think it was just meeting new people within TBC. Like I've been working with some of the heads of elementary band to help like coordinate like fundraisers towards like selling merch here or like selling food at like one of our summer programs. And like I've met a ton of cool people through that way, which I might not have been if I didn't join TBC. So it's all the people. I think TBC personally towards me has just been really rewarding. It's been an opportunity to demonstrate my growth and my responsibility and to bring back good towards my community, to spread my joy, my passion for music towards the rest of the community. I don't know, I think it's just really rewarding and really satisfying when things go right. And also when I realize that like what I'm doing helps real people get access to music education. I will definitely stay involved with Tri-City Band until I graduate, and maybe even further from there, just to help out the next generation of kids coming in. Working like and helping out at this organization has really taught me like the responsibility to like really like push through these challenges and just make everything work out in the end. I would tell that scared student just push through it, just do it. Like at the end of the day, music shouldn't be something that's gate kept. It should be spread and shared among everyone, and the joy from producing that music shouldn't be something you're scared of, but rather something that you should push through to really achieve that like level of mastery at your instrument and the ability to help make music and help other people. I do hope for the future Tri-City Band for us to like continue expanding outwards. We've expanded further throughout the Bay Area in California. Like we were first situated within like the Fremont area, which is like the east side of the Bay Area, but we've further pushed towards like the south side area, so like around Palo Alto-ish. We're trying to get a Pleasanton site next year. I really just hope that like an organization like ours can just continue expanding and spreading our love of music towards the community itself. We can offer like music lessons and like just tie the community together with like music education and just music in general, just the love of making music.
We don't operate like a lot of other groups where you kind of like just year after year you get your promotion if you kind of survive to the end. We promote students based off how hard they work. And so one story I always like to bring up is that a couple years back, our CEO was chosen as a 9th grader, as a freshman. She worked harder than everybody else. She put in more hours. She did not miss a single meeting, parade, rehearsal, any time in her 4 years of high school. And so she served for 3 years as our CEO since her sophomore year. And she actually just graduated from USC this year, so really fun. But she started like half the programs we're talking about, the special needs, the middle school program. She was in the first cohort that came through. And so it's all student ideas, student driven. So they are coming up with like, let's start this, let's try this. And I think one thing that I really love is just, we're always willing to like try new things. Like, you know, we don't have to analyze it for 5 years and figure out, you know, if there's an interest, we're just let's do it. Let's see how many people sign up. You know, if we get it, let's do it. If not, hey, it's okay. We at least made an attempt at it, right? So, but for me, I think just the students who have come up through, I know our incoming CEO this next year, she was also starting our middle school program back in 7th grade. So she's been with us, this will be her 6th year with the program. We kind of already think we know who's gonna be coming the year after, also an alumni of the program. And so, you know, we've gotten to that point where most of the music students in our area have all started with us at this point. Right now, it'd be great if you're interested in learning music to come and consider signing up for one of our programs. We run 2 seasons every year. We have our summer season, which runs from June to the end of July. It's an 8-week program. Don't worry if you're traveling, it's okay to miss a couple weeks, go on vacation, enjoy your summer. I want you to do that. You know, it's not all about, you know, working all the time. So it's okay to miss a couple weeks, but definitely participate, try, give it a shot, try an instrument. You know, music has so many benefits for you, both on the academic and on the social side. So it's definitely something you should at least try at least once in your life, see if you enjoy it. Right now, from there, our summer registration is open right now. It's going to go until second or third week of June this year. But you can always sign up for our school year program, which will open on July 15th, and that one runs from September to May every year. Our program for the elementary and middle school program and our high school program are all completely free. We are donation driven purely, so everyone just donates what they can. We really just want you to be involved. We want you to be excited about music. We want to try it out. I don't want this to be a barrier for anyone. We provide free instruments for anyone who can't afford it, so you can definitely be a part of the band. No reason not to come out and try this. 10 years ago, we came up with a 10-year plan, and I reviewed it recently. It was good to see it. We actually checked off, I think, 8 out of our 10 items, from 10 years ago. And one of them was starting an elementary program, starting a middle school program. So, we've been just checking off those boxes. One of the big ones for us over time, hopefully, is we would like to get our own facility. I think that's one thing right now we're renting. We're spending a lot of money on rent. That's probably our biggest expense every year. We've been fortunate that a lot of our staff are all volunteers, so we're able to save on staffing. But getting our own space, having a place where kids can have a locker for their instrument, warm-up rooms, practice rooms, places where kids can go and just be on their own and practice there, I think would be something I would love to have someday. So next 10 years, we're really about doing the right thing all the time. I think that's really important for us. So for instance, in times like when the group started, there was a little bit more behind the scenes when we started, but we had it was a rough start. We had another director, another adult as part of a sister program that we had, and just really wasn't nice to the students, was a little mean, maybe borderline abusive to them. And so that's kind of when we decided to say, we need to step away from this. We need to, protect our members and do what's right. And so that was me at 18. I started this group with $5,000 out of my own pocket, went and bought some drums, uniforms. I got scammed out of uniforms off eBay my first time buying it, and it was lessons learned back in the day. And we're at the point now where we're proudly sponsored by Conn-Selmer, we're sponsored by REMA, we're sponsored by like 10 different organizations, so we're able to get discounted instruments and equipment now. From a point where we were paying like full retail price, where I didn't even know where to go and shop for things, and we've really just grown the size of our program. Like I think we recently just put a new order for uniforms, so we're at the point where we're going to have, I think, like 400 or 500 sets of uniforms now, just for accommodating the additional growth and size of the program right now. So we've come a long way. We've learned a lot along the way, and I always think it's important that when I was a student, I wish someone had given me that chance, given me the opportunity. I eventually went and kind of built it myself, and now it's important for me to make sure that that next generation, has someone willing to support them, both just emotionally, but also financially, to go and try for their dreams and go and attempt, things that they're interested in doing. I think music's important just because it's a social aspect, right? I see so many students these days, and they are amazing and talented in many, many things. But what I've seen more from the school districts I've been part of, I work at a private school, pretty selective, very elite students, but they're very individual. Like they're great tennis players, but they're not good at playing team sports. They're great artists, right? But they're not good at, singing in a choir, playing in a band. And what they really lack is that teamwork component. And I think the real world is you're working with teams. You're gonna have coworkers, you're gonna have a boss, you have to be able to get along with other people, share and communicate your ideas. That's gonna be really important. So playing in a band is you're forced to listen to the guy next to you. Are we playing it together? Are we together? Am I watching the conductor? Are we in sync over there? And just there's a lot of constant communication that's happening silently, or without words, the entire time. And so those are important skills. That's skills I think employers and colleges want to see down the line, and that's why I think it's really important for those students to be building those skills now.
Being director of Hastati pretty much means that I just show up for rehearsal, and I help with things like doing attendance, helping all the kids get settled, and I also help get all the scores organized and just do all the logistical things that comes with running the program on site during rehearsals. And then outside of rehearsal time, we also do extra work, mainly just responding to emails, making sure all the parents are up to date, they have all the information they need, and we also just do a lot of customer service kind of work, just making sure that everyone's able to get their tickets for events like this, and then working with other departments like our tech department and finance in order to make sure we have our fundraisers that are going well, because we're selling merch right now, so that was one collaboration. And then we also work with tech for advertisement. So doing things like sending out emails and making sure that we have all our publicity for events like this. In order to cater to different skill levels and different age groups within TBC, we have different levels that students can enroll in. So we start off with beginning, and then we move on to intermediate and advanced, and this includes a very large age range. So I was a TA last year, so I was actually teaching some of the students, and I was teaching from like 4th grade to 8th grade. So it's really based on skill level and how much the student can play. And then once they graduate from advanced, we move on to our higher program, which is cadets, and that includes marching band as well, and it's mainly for middle school students. To illustrate how I've grown through my leadership at TBC, I would have to start from the beginning. So I joined actually in finance. I was not in the Hastati group. So starting from just being a general finance officer, I went on to be CFO. So I was organizing a lot of the major fundraisers that we do that helps fund these programs, because there are a lot of costs that come with catering a program to such a large group of students. So after being in CFO, I wanted to be a little bit more involved with the community service aspect and directly working with the kids that we try to benefit through the program. So I moved on to Hastati under the position Deputy Director of Hastati. This is a higher position, and I was able to work with a lot more people than I was in finance. Even though I was leading a larger team, there are a lot more people that I interact with now, so that is definitely a really important skill that TBC helps kids develop. So it's really awesome that all these different leadership skills that you develop in TBC really help you out in the future. And then next year I'm going to be Director of Auxiliary Programs, which is cadets and winter guard and some of the other programs we do. So I won't be in Hastati anymore, but I'll definitely still be working on my leadership skills. My favorite part is going to rehearsal, and it's just really memorable to see the kids that I've taught in the past and worked with, and just be able to say hi to them and then see them smile and know that I'm making an impact on all these kids. And it's the same thing with the parents too. A lot of them are really sweet, and they really appreciate the work that we're doing, and some parents like take the time to come and talk to us outside of just asking their question. They kind of like appreciate what we're doing, and I get to have a conversation with them. So I think that human interaction part is definitely my favorite. So just connecting with the kids and the parents has been really awesome. So TBC is super important because, especially in the Bay Area, a lot of the band programs that we do are very competitive, and that at the high school and middle school level, they're very competitive, but not always at the elementary level are the programs sufficient enough to train these kids to be able to make that jump into middle school and high school bands. So TBC is really awesome because it's not just an elementary band program. We have a lot more rigorous curriculum, and we encourage students to step out of their comfort zones and really push themselves to the limit with their performing and their playing. So we definitely require a lot more from the student than these elementary programs do, and that definitely builds really capable musicians when they go into middle school and high school. So Tri-City Bands is all about just spreading our love for music. That's our motto, and we do that through a lot of ways, not just elementary band, but that is our biggest program right now. So we do elementary band, and then we also do cadets, which is marching band for middle schoolers, and then we also do our Royals program, which is marching for high schoolers, and we also do a couple guard programs. We do a guard program for younger kids, and there's also a one that's catered towards older kids, more challenging. We do a lot of marching band for high schoolers, so we go to competitions and things like that. We also do special needs percussion, and we also help out with Tri-City percussion. So there's just a lot of music catering to pretty much anyone who wants to join. And we also do bagpipes. That's a really unique thing that we also are involved with. And outside of just those programs, I think a big part of TBC is everything that goes on behind the scenes. We have an officer team of around 100 people, so we work with a lot of important things with online marketing. We all get trained on Salesforce, which is a really important skill, and we do email marketing that way. We do Peachjar as well, and we do a lot of Facebook marketing, Instagram marketing, and then finance, which was something that I was deeply involved in the past. We host fundraisers for over 200 people multiple times a year. The mayor even comes, and we're recognized by the city for the fundraisers that we do, and all of that goes back to supporting our community and making sure all these classes and programs are free for everyone. it's definitely a big step to get involved in a program, so I completely understand when someone's a little bit nervous or the parent's a little bit nervous to put their kid in a new program that they don't really have experience with. And a big part of what the high schoolers do is really make sure all the kids are comfortable. So Harrison is our director, but he's not as involved with the kids as we are, so we definitely check up on all the kids and they are completely free to come down and talk to us. I get a lot of kids that are super nervous and really sad that they aren't playing to the level that they hope to be with the group, and they come and talk to us, and we just remind them that at the end of the day it's just a band program. It's an extracurricular program. It's just meant to help them develop their music, develop their minds, try something new. And I'll just remind them to not take it too seriously, because running these big programs is really stressful for the high schoolers too. And something that I just remind myself is that it's not really that serious. I just have to remember the goal that I'm aiming towards, supporting these kids, and just remembering that helps me focus on the goal and not worry about all the stress that comes with it. And just sharing those personal experiences with the kids really helps them feel less nervous because they know someone else is going through it as well. TBC isn't just for the kids that we run the programs for. I think a massive part of the reason that this program was started was also for the high school leadership. So these leadership opportunities, like I mentioned before, running programs for over 800 kids, doing fundraisers for over 200 people, is something that not everyone is going to be able to experience at this age. With high school clubs, I'm also involved in those, and I can be pretty honest when I say that we definitely don't do this large scale type of event. And being able to be part of TBC for the past, I've been involved since freshman year. I'm currently a junior. So being involved for the past 3 years, and then also being in his study before that as a student, I've been able to learn a lot about what it takes to run these larger programs, which will definitely help when you get into your professional career. It helps you learn how to communicate with all types of people. We learn a lot of really invaluable skills, like how to use Google Sheets. That's a pretty basic one that not a lot of people know about. And TBC, we do trainings for that, and we do a lot of leadership learning to understand how to lead the teams that we're involved in. So I would say that being able to be part of TBC really gives you that leadership aspect that I don't really see anyone else getting because of how truly massive TBC is. I've definitely seen a lot of people sign up through Peachjar because I know that it goes out to more people than we can reach with just Salesforce, since it goes out to the entire school districts, I believe. So I think that's really helpful to be able to reach the parents directly, even if they don't know about TBC beforehand.